Hi guys. So today I'm going to go over how I create and package my art prints for sale. There's a 4-part process to this, and I'll go over each piece in more detail. But essentially the first part is good photography, so I'll give you my tips there. The second is design, where I'll show you how I create the image that we need to upload for order in Canva. And the third part is the actual online ordering, so I'll give you some of my tips. And the fourth part is packaging. So let's get started. So the first step is to take a very high quality image of your original canvas. And there are a lot of tips on this out on YouTube and whole videos dedicated to the topic. So if you're interested in getting started with this, I would suggest doing as much research as possible. Here, I'm going to share a few of the tips that I found helpful when I was getting started. So here's a photograph that shows my setup for taking pictures of my art in order to make prints. And I'm just kind of getting started in creating art prints in general. So I have not invested in professional lighting, but I've really found that I don't really need it at this moment because I use a natural light source from a window nearby over to the left outside of this frame. And then I make up for the other side of the photo by adding just a little bit of light from this ring light that I have on hand. Now, it's really important if you're using an artificial light source like a lamp or a ring light of some kind that you're not shining it directly onto the canvas, because that will create a glare. What you want to do is just shine it just off to the side to help bring out any of those shadows that would occur from the window on the other side. Another tip is that I take the pictures of my artwork before I put varnish on them, because I find the varnish increases the glare and causes me problems on the printmaking process. In terms of the camera that I use for taking my photographs, I have a new iPhone that works perfectly. It has a very robust system for taking high-resolution photographs. If you don't happen to have one, then any kind of digital camera that you have on hand already or you want to invest in should be just fine. Now, when setting up your photo area, you want to make sure that your light source is not directly behind you, because in that case, you'll get a shadow of yourself taking the picture, which you can see in this example over here on the right. Another thing you might want to be careful about is turning off the overhead light, because as you can see, that can cause a glare on the picture that will show up on printing, and it makes it look a little off. My tips for actually snapping the photo are to not use any of the zoom in or out features on your camera. Just stand pretty close to the original image and try to make sure that you're getting the photo straight as possible. If your image looks a little dull or a little dark, don't be too worried, as that is something that you can fix in the design process, which I'll show you next. So the first thing you want to do here is just open a new project that is the same specifications as the print that you'd like to make. So in this instance, I'm making a 16 by 20 print. So I have set the settings to 16 by 20. I'm then just going to add my photo that we took earlier, and I crop out the background and make sure to get the tiniest bit of the edge out as well, so that any weird shadows will be gone also. So just taking some time cropping, and then I'm just going to go ahead and size this to the size of my template, like so. Next, I'm going to brighten this up a little bit. Even though we did try to do well with the lighting, it isn't always foolproof, so I'm just going to adjust the brightness a tiny bit and the contrast and saturation to make sure that it makes sure that those colors can pop. Now, I always keep the original next to me while I'm doing this, so I make sure I'm not deviating too far from the original. The goal is to really make it as close to the original as possible. So here I'm just adding my signature. I usually don't sign my original pieces, but for prints I do. So I use the background remover feature and just sort of made it a little smaller and put it in the bottom here. You can also adjust the color of this. I'm leaving it darker just here in this example. So now we're ready to go ahead and export this as a high resolution PDF. So I'm going to select that option. When I hit download, it asks me my file type. So I will pick for printing, PDF print quality, and then I will do CMYK for professional printing. And then it will let me download it to my computer that I can use to upload when I do the order. Now, in terms of ordering, there are a lot of different options. I personally use Vistaprint, but I'm in no way affiliated with them, and I would encourage you to go ahead and shop around and see which would be the best option for you in terms of price and quality. There are places like Walmart, Shutterfly, Snapfish, really anywhere you can order photo prints, you can order your prints that you're going to sell. Vistaprint offers posters, which is the method that I use. So as you can see here, they have a pretty easy website to use. So you just pick your orientation. The size is 16 by 20. The stock, I pick a premium matte, but you can really explore which option you'd like there. I prefer matte because I figure with a print, someone's going to be framing it with glass and it's going to be a glossy piece anyways, so why add too much gloss? In terms of the quantities, the more that you order, the cheaper they are per unit. So I typically try to order in bigger batches. And then you go ahead and upload your design that we created earlier. So I will go ahead and select the PDF and it will upload into the Vistaprint system, and then soon we'll be able to check the proof to make sure it all looks correct. Okay, so here is our image. So we'll hit preview, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time scrutinizing over it today, but you certainly should before you order. I would also recommend ordering small batch if you're just getting started and you've never ordered one in particular before, just to make sure it comes out okay before you spend a lot of money. So Vistaprint will also have a lot of other options for you. As you can see, you could get a t-shirt with your print on it, a mug, really the sky's the limit. And then you'll go ahead and go to your shopping cart and place your order. So in terms of packaging, I've pretty much found everything I needed online on Amazon. So I will put the links in the description below to help you find what I'm talking about here. So I've used these self-sealing art print bags, and a pack of about 200 of those was only about $30 on Amazon. So definitely affordable. So I put the print that I received on top of a cardboard backing, which I used chipboard. And it was about $40 for a pack of 100 of these cardboard pieces. And it's definitely essential because you don't want your print to be wrinkling or crumbling or anything like that, especially if you're out at a craft fair and people are kind of rummaging through them. You want to make sure to protect the print. So these bags are self-sealing, which was very convenient. And then I added my business card in the back just as a branding element so that if somebody gets home and they want to see what other kinds of prints I have available online, they can go ahead and do so there. I also added just a basic label here that it shows the name of the piece, my name, my company's name, as well as my website, and some additional information if they wanted to see creation videos of the piece that they purchased. In terms of displaying these, if you're out at a craft or an arts fair, I went ahead and purchased one of these art display racks, and it was not inexpensive. It was about $75, but I found that there wasn't really any other suitable alternatives to make sure that you could ensure that the prints were easily seen and accessible by people walking by. And this one also holds a lot of prints, so I can add greater variety to what I'm displaying. And it's really easy to set up and carry around, very portable. So this is the option that I picked. If you want to just go with the smaller prints, then you can probably get away with doing some smaller baskets or even using crates that you already have on hand if you're worried about budget. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other questions or any other topics you'd like me to do a video on, please be sure to add that in the comments below. I'm going to be doing some upcoming videos on my pricing strategy as well as my art fair setup, so please subscribe if you'd like more information on that. See you next time.